Imagine having millions of dollars but still feeling anxious, greedy, or even going broke. What if I told you that money success isn't about math, it's about psychology? Today, we are diving deep into the psychology of money by Morgan Housel, and I'll show you the 20 timeless lessons that can change how you see wealth forever. The greatest show on earth. We all grow up learning how to handle money in different ways, not through textbooks, but through the experiences and stories we see around us. Some people learn to be cautious because they saw their parents lose jobs in recessions. Others saw their families get wealthy in booming markets and think risk always pays off. Most financial advice assume we are rational, data driven creatures. In reality, we make decisions in the real world, a messy place filled with fear, greed, ego, social pressures, and deeply rooted habits. Behavior matters more than theoretical knowledge. Mastering your emotions and mindset is more important than mastering spreadsheets. The first lesson: no one's crazy. Everyone thinks they are being rational because they make decisions based on what they've lived through. Imagine two people, one who grew up seeing constant inflation and financial instability. They might hoard cash or gold and avoid markets. Another person raised during steady economic growth might believe in taking big risk and investing aggressively. There is no single correct perspective because each person's financial reality is colored by their personal past. We judge others too quickly without knowing what shaped them. For example, a young investor who avoids stock after seeing the 2008 crash might look timid, but they are acting on real fear learned early. Before judging someone's financial decision, remember that we are all shaped by invisible life experiences. The second lesson: luck and risk. We love to believe that success is purely a result of hard work and skill, but luck and risk play enormous roles. Look at the story of Bill Gates. He had incredible talent, but he also attended one of the only high schools in the United States with a computer at the time, a rare privilege that set his life on a unique trajectory. His friend Kent Evans was just as smart and driven, but died young in an accident. Luck gave Gates an unimaginable future. Risk took Evans' potential away. This lesson challenges us to stop simplifying stories of success and failure. We shouldn't copy people blindly without acknowledging the unseen lucky breaks they had. Be humble in success, compassionate in observing others' failure, and understand that no outcome is guaranteed. The third lesson: never enough. We are often trapped by endless comparisons. There's always someone richer, someone who retired earlier, someone with a bigger house or more luxurious car. Rajat Gupta, who had risen from extreme poverty to the heights of the corporate world, risked his reputation and freedom to make even more money. Instead of appreciating his success, he wanted to keep climbing. There's also the example of Bernie Madoff, who had already made more money than he could ever spend, but ran a massive fraud to gain more status and power. Knowing what is enough protects you from ruinous decisions driven by envy and greed. Learn to draw a line and stick to it. It gives peace of mind and helps you enjoy what you already have. The fourth lesson: confounding compounding. Compounding is one of the most powerful yet misunderstood forces in finance and in life. Warren Buffett didn't become a billionaire until his 50s, even though he started investing at age 10. By 60, his wealth really started to explode. His returns were good, but not record breaking. It was the sheer amount of time they had to grow that made all the difference. Many people interrupt their compounding by chasing quick wins, switching strategies, or panicking during downturns. The lesson here is simple but profound. Time and consistency beat brilliance and aggressiveness. Letting your investment grow uninterrupted is more important than constantly tweaking for higher returns. The fifth lesson: getting wealthy versus staying wealthy. Getting rich often requires optimism, courage, and a willingness to take risk. But keeping the wealth demands an entirely different mindset: humility, caution, and the understanding that you can lose it all. History is full of people who made fortunes only to lose them quickly because they couldn't shift from aggressive growth to preservative mode. It is easy to get greedy after a few wins and think you can't lose. But every big financial collapse is littered with confident people who thought the same. The first rule of compounding: never interrupt it unnecessarily. Staying in the game long enough is what allows wealth to grow beyond imagination. The sixth lesson: tails, you win. The biggest gains often come from a few rare events, known as tail events. For example, venture capitalists invest in 20 startups, expecting most to fail, hoping that one or two deliver massive returns. Similarly, an investor might own dozens of stocks, but just a few like Apple, Amazon, or Tesla may account for most of their gains over decades. In life, too, a few key opportunities, be it a career break, meeting the right mentor, moving to a new city, can shape your future more than years of steady small decisions. Don't let failure discourage you too much, and don't quit too early. You might be one tail event away from a big breakthrough. The seventh lesson: freedom. The most powerful thing money can buy isn't a car, house, or fancy vacation. It's control over your time. When you decide what to work on, when to rest, and who to spend time with, you feel truly free. Surveys consistently show that people value autonomy as one of the greatest contributors to happiness. Instead of using money to impress others, use it to buy back your time and make choices that align with your true values. The eighth lesson: man in the car paradox. We often spend money on flashy things to signal success and gain respect. But when someone sees you in an expensive car, they really don't think about you at all. They think, wow, if I had that car, I would feel great. Ironically, trying to buy admiration usually fails. People admire humility, kindness, and authenticity far more than luxury goods. If your goal is to be respected, focus on building character and relationships, not on consumption. The ninth lesson: wealth is what you don't see. The biggest misconception is equating wealth with spending. A person might drive an old car and live in a modest house but have millions in investments. Another might look rich but is drowning in debt. Wealth is the assets you don't see: savings, investments, financial safety nets. Real wealth is about freedom and peace of mind, the ability to take risk, to say no, to walk away from toxic situations, or to help others generously. The tenth lesson: save money. High income is meaningless if every dollar is spent. Savings is often framed as a sacrifice, but it's actually an investment in flexibility and security. You might not know exactly what you need it for today, but unexpected opportunities and emergencies will inevitably come. Savings act as a buffer, a bridge, and a lever for better choices in the future. It is the foundation for all financial freedom. The 11th lesson: reasonable is greater than rational. We are not emotionless robots. We can't always follow the purely rational plan. A financial strategy that looks optimal on paper might cause you stress and sleepless nights. If you can't stick with a plan emotionally, it's worthless, no matter how right it looks. Choose a strategy that is slightly less efficient, but you can follow consistently for decades. Stability and peace of mind are worth more than an extra percent or two in returns. The 12th lesson: surprise History is shaped by unexpected, unpredictable events, crises, crashes, pandemic, technological revolutions. These events change the game in ways no models can predict. Rather than trying to forecast precisely, prepare for surprises. A plan that works only in one perfect future is fragile. A robust plan accepts the uncertainty of life and builds resilience into the system. The 13th lesson, room for error. When you plan with no margin for error, even a small setback can become a disaster. Leaving extra room in your finances, whether it's higher savings, lower expenses, or more conservative investments, keep you safe when reality doesn't match your assumptions. A buffer buys time and options, which is often more valuable than immediate returns. The 14th lesson, you'll change. We all change as we age. The person we are at 25 has different dreams, fears, and priorities than the person you will be at 45 or 65. When you lock yourself into rigid plans based on today's identity, you risk building a future you may not even want anymore. Financial flexibility means allowing your goals and strategies to evolve as you learn more about yourself and life. The 15th lesson, nothing is free. Every financial reward requires paying a price, even if that price isn't visible upfront. In investing, the price is volatility, uncertainty, and seeing your portfolio drop at times. The mistake many people make is trying to avoid paying any price. They pull out during downturns, chase safe investments with low returns, or get stuck in cash forever. Understand that enduring discomfort is the entrance fee for long term rewards. The 16th lesson, you and me. People make different financial choices because they are playing different games. A day trader and a long term retiree have different time horizons, risk tolerances, and goals. When you take advice or imitate someone else without understanding their context, you may harm yourself. Clarify your own game and make sure your decisions fit it. The 17th lesson, the seduction of pessimism. Bad news sounds smarter than good news. We pay more attention to warnings and negativity because it feels protective, but throughout history, human progress has steadily marched forward despite crisis and setbacks. Believing in long term optimism, despite short term chaos, is necessary for building wealth and staying invested. The 18th lesson, when you believe anything. During uncertainty, people search for comforting stories or conspiracies to explain what they don't understand. It is easier to believe a simple lie than accept the uncomfortable truth that the world is messy and unpredictable. Resist this urge. Accepting randomness and uncertainty is a mark of maturity in both life and investing. The 19th lesson, all together now. Here, all the lessons comes together like pieces of a puzzle. First, save a lot. Next, spend less than you earn. Embrace simplicity. Stay humble. Be kind to your future self. Focus on independence.